Let me tell you, if you don't have the right strategy or if you don't have a right plan or right approach on how to solve the paper, you're already out of the race. So the golden rule is that if you are able to eliminate one option, you need to mandatorily attempt that question. If you attempt the 100 questions, you need to get 60 correct, 40 can still be incorrect, फिर भी आपको कितना मिलेगा? 94 मिलेगा. Good day everyone, Sreejay here. As you have already read the title and thumbnail of the video, this video will provide you the most effective method on how to do the question paper. Now, why does the video matter? Because, as all of you know, UPSC Prelims is not just about testing your knowledge, right? No, it's much more than that. It's about testing how you make the decisions in that 2 hours, in that pressure cooker mode. Also, let me tell you, if you don't have the right strategy or if you don't have a right plan or right approach on how to solve the paper, you're already out of the race. This video is going to solve your crisis. Now, I'll be talking about 3 different things here. The first one, what is the number of rounds and how should you approach the paper? The number of attempts that you have to take, and also how you can properly manage your time so that you don't feel the pressure and you can use your logic and easily cross the prelims cutoff. So, diving into the most important question here that all of you must be waiting for. What is your ideal attempt that every aspirant should make? Now let me break the ice here. There is no ideal attempt that you have to attempt 93, 94, 97, but it depends upon each person. But let me give you some insights regarding the same. Now here, for the analysis, I have taken 94 here as the cutoff. Okay. I have taken 94 here as the cutoff for the fact that the UPSC Prelims is getting harder and harder every year. And after 2022, UPSC Prelims have not ever touched 95 as the cutoff year. So 95 would probably be a safe zone. Now on the left hand side, you can see the number of questions that you need to attempt and the number of correct you need to get that 94 scores. Okay? Now here, if you attempt 72, you need to get 53 correct. Even if you get 19 incorrect, you will get 94, right? If you attempt 80 questions, you need to get 55 correct. And if you let 25 incorrect, you will still be getting 94. If you attempt 92, you need to get 58 correct. 34 can still be incorrect. फिर भी आपको 94 मिलेगा. Let's say you attempt all the 100 questions. I always attempt the whole 100 questions. Okay. If you attempt the 100 questions, you need to get 60 correct. 40 can still be incorrect. फिर भी आपको कितना मिलेगा? 94 मिलेगा. Now, what is the most ideal attempt here? Let's say you attempt 72 questions. You need to get 53 correct. 80 आप attempt कर रहे हैं, 55 correct करना चाहिए. 100 attempt कर रहे हैं, 60 correct करना चाहिए. Now let's say between 80 and 100, ठीक है? 55 and 60. That means that in the extra 20 questions that you are attempting, you just need to get 5 correct, right? In the extra 20 questions that you attempt from 80 to 100, you just need to get 5 correct, right? Is that a very big thing? When you attempt 20 correct, at least getting 5 correct, is it such a big thing? Now that is the reason why I always attempt the 100 questions. Because according to the principle of probability, attempting more number of questions is always the better thing. And I'll explain the principle of probability here. Now, as you can see here, let's say you have 4 options in UPSC, right? You have A, B, C, and D. So what is the probability that one question will be correct? Correct, even if you don't know the content regarding the same? It's 25%, right? Because we have 4 options and the probability is 25%. Now, let's say you attempt 4 random questions, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, and A, B, C, D. What would happen? At least one of them would be correct, right? If you attempt randomly, 1 would be correct and 3 would be incorrect. Now, what will the marks will be then? 1 is correct, which will give you 2 marks. 3 is incorrect and you will lose your 2 marks. Therefore, the net addition is 0, right? So, if you attempt questions randomly, there is no net addition or there is no net loss, right? But what if you are able to eliminate one of the options? Let's say from A, B, C, D, you know that B is not the answer. Now, what would happen? Abhi, the probability increases from 25% to 33%, right? Because among A, B, C, D, 1 would be the answer here, right? Now let's say you attempt 3 more questions, such questions, wherein you are able to eliminate one option. Abhi's pay, 1 would be correct, 2 would be incorrect, right? So therefore, what would happen? 1 into 2 equal to 2 marks, and 2 into 0.6 is equal to 1.32. Therefore, there is a net addition of 0.68, right? So the golden rule is that if you are able to eliminate one option, you need to mandatorily attempt that question. Now, what if you eliminate 2 options here? Then there is no question of attempting. You need to mandatorily attempt the same. Let's say among A, B, C, D, you know that B and C is not the answer. You are left with A and D. So what is the probability? The probability is 50%. Let's say you attempt 2 such questions. 1 would be correct, 1 would be incorrect. So 1 into 2 equal to 2, and 1 into 0.66 equal to 1.34. So there is a net addition of 1.34. So what is the ideal attempt? As I told you, you need to attempt all those questions wherein you are able to eliminate one option. Now let me give you a different opinion or a different dimension regarding the same. What is the benefit of attempting more number of questions? Now let's think in terms of the content. Firstly, you are attempting very less number of questions and you are reading the answer key for that question. Second thing, you attempt all the questions, you make them incorrect or you make them wrong, and then you read the answer key. In which method will the content keep in your mind? Content will be there in your mind. If you leave that question and read the answer key, or you make it incorrect and then you read the answer key. Obviously the second one, right? It's that you make it incorrect, then you read the answer key, it will keep in your mind. So in that logic, for the content as well, attempting more number of questions is good. Now what if in case of logic, you leave the question completely, or you attempt that question, you apply some logic, how will then improve which method is ideal for improving the logical elimination techniques? Obviously the second one, right? So in terms of content, also in terms of logical elimination, always attempting more number of questions is good. So that is why when you attempt the test series, always go for attempting all the 100 questions, because in case of content, logical elimination, be it for time management as well, attempting more number of questions is the most crucial thing. Okay. But what about UPSC pay? UPSC pay, let me tell you, as I told you before, you don't need to attempt all the questions. You can leave those questions wherein you are not able to eliminate at least a single option. Okay. So according to me, in UPSC, you should be attempting close to 95 to 100 questions. Skip only those questions wherein you are not able to eliminate at least a single option. But if you are able to eliminate one option, therefore you need to mandatorily attempt that question. Okay. This is the only thing that you have to keep in mind when you attempt the question. Okay. So what is the golden rule? Attempt all those questions. I am repeating myself. Attempt only those questions, or attempt all questions wherein you are able to eliminate at least one option. But let me tell you, if your logical and elimination techniques are really good, by the way, you will be, for the fact that in case of dominant prelims, you are already attempting 50 questions daily. Out of that, we have a daily discussion which only includes logical and elimination questions. We discuss close to 15 to 20 questions on a daily basis. Also, you have my mentorship wherein we'll be discussing about logical elimination techniques. Also, we have this 1 month elimination program as well. So therefore, all the dominant students should be attempting, in my opinion, all the 100 questions, because you are really good. You will become really good in your logical and elimination techniques as well. Right? Now, let's discuss the second most important thing, which is the time management. Now, how do you manage the time? Let me tell you, you need to have very shorter plans. It's not that you will look at the watch at 1 hour 30 minutes and you identify that, "Arey, mujhe time nahi tha." No. You need to have short-term plans. Like every half an hour, you need to have a plan. In the first half an hour, if you are able to manage the time, in the first half an hour, if you succeed in your plan, then you know that, okay, fine, I'm going under the right pace. What if you not succeed at that time? Let's say your first half an hour target was that you complete the first 100 questions in the first round. Let's say it took you 45 minutes. Then you understand that I'm very low in my time. I was very slow. Therefore, you make a decision that you either completely skip the third round or you attend the questions in more pace. This is why shorter time management techniques are really crucial in order to clear UPSC. Okay. So how do you do the same? First of all, why is the exam conducted for 2 hours? It's because to create pressure. It's because it's because the UPSC exam is all about testing your decision-making skills, right? So the 2 hours exam create panic and confusion, which increases the pressure, affecting your thought process, which affects your elimination techniques. And that's the reason why most of the students actually fail. But if you have a time management strategy, let me tell you, the UPSC pressure won't kick in too much. If you know that I'm going according to my plan, then the pressure won't kick you too much. Okay. So I'll give you two approaches here. One aspirant who doesn't have short-term targets, he looks at the watch at 1 hour 30 minutes or 1 hour 45 minutes, then understand that he or she does not have the time. And at that moment, he or she just cannot do anything. The game is over for them. So the game over for 2026 prelims. What if a person who has short-term plans, let's say in the first half an hour, he has plan. He know that he'll be completing questions from 1 to 100 in the first round. And he has completed the same. So therefore, he is mentally stable, he's emotionally stable, he's able to think properly and apply his elimination techniques, and therefore, he clears the 2026 prelims. This is why having a proper time management strategy is very crucial, because it will help you to be emotionally and mentally stable during the exam hall. Now, what is the ideal time management approach, in my opinion? This is something that you can follow. Okay. So the first round, you need to complete in the first 30 minutes. I'll detailedly tell you how to do the same. Okay. So always divide your slot into slots of 30 minutes. So in the first round, you complete in the first 30 minutes, you complete your first round. You should attend only those questions which you are 100% sure. Okay. I'll tell you in detail when we discuss the rounds. Second round pay. In the next 30 minutes, you should be attempting the 1 to 35 questions. In the next 30 minutes, you should be attempting the second round, 35 to 70. In the next 25 minutes, you should be attending the questions from 70 to 100. And in the last 5 minutes, you should be attending the third round. Okay? This is the way you have to attempt. So it should be slot by slot basis. First 30 minutes pay, the first round. Next 30 minutes pay, second round of 1 to 35. Next 30 minutes pay, second round 35 to 70 questions. Next 25 minutes pay, 70 to 100. And last 5 minutes pay is for the third round. This is the way you have to plan. Now let me tell you, let's say in your first round, it took you 45 minutes to complete the first round. Then what do? You increase your pace, or you make a decision that mujhe third round nahi hai. So therefore, you have to attempt all the questions in the second round itself. This is how you manage your time. Okay? So in the first round, attempt only easy, confident and direct questions. The goal is to get probably close to 20 to 30 in the prelims. Second round, attempt all the questions which you are able to eliminate at least one option. Now, what is for the third round? You are not able to eliminate even one option. Then you go for certain logic such as word deconstruction, intuitions, multiple facts given in a question, identical statements. Go for the most specific option. Baki sub logic that we have discussed in the logical elimination course and during our test discussions, you can apply that here. And let me tell you, obviously you will be getting more than 25% accuracy if you have joined my elimination course, because it provides a solution to almost all the questions out there, right? So now, how should you attempt the rounds? So as all of you know, we should be attempting the questions in 3 rounds, right? Now, what is the first round? Read only the question. You should not be reading the statement. Okay. Let's say, consider the following statements with respect to Government of India Act 1935. If you only know about Government of India Act 1935, then you start reading the statements. If you don't know about Government of India Act 1935, what it is, then you circle it and then you move on to the next question. Okay. If you know about Government of India Act 1935, then you start reading the statements. This is the way you have to read it in the first round. So attempt only direct, easy and confident questions where you are 100% sure. Now what are the areas to skip? You can skip big paragraphs questions. You can skip 5 or more statements. Also, you can skip those topics which you don't have clear-cut idea. Which you don't have clear-cut idea or 100% confidence in that topic. Okay? And what is our aim? In the actual UPSC, our aim is to get close to 15 to 20 questions wherein you are 100% sure. This is how you do the first round. Okay? So read the question. If you're familiar with the topic, then read the statements. If you're not familiar with the topic, then you completely leave it. Right? So let's say you don't know what is polyethylene terephthalate. Okay. You don't know what is polyethylene terephthalate. Then what do? You circle the question and leave it for the second round. Right. The second way is you know what is the Somnath temple. You have a clear-cut idea regarding the Somnath temple. Then you start reading the statements. Let's say Somnath temple is one of the Jyotirlinga shrines. You know that. A description about Somnath temple was given by Al-Buraini. Obviously, he would have given the same, right? But you are not sure with the third statement. Now what do? 1 and 2 is correct. So therefore, you eliminate B here. And you eliminate C here. And you circle these two options. And then you leave it for the second round. And when you come on the second round, you only read about the third statement here. And you make your final decision here. And in this question, A was the answer. This is how you should do the first round. If you know about the topic, then read the statements, try to eliminate some of them and try to reach in 50-50 or 1/3 or go for the all-in. If you don't know about the topic, then just circle it and move on to the next question here. Okay? So make sure you leave all the big paragraph, all those statements, big questions, big statements, big paragraph, and also 5 or more statements also is something that you need to leave because it will take some time for you to think. And in the first round, आपके पास इतना time नहीं है. You need to be very fast. Okay? Now, how do you do the same? Always remember, when you attempt the questions, you should not be reading like this. You should not be reading the question paper like this. Rather, you need to underline and circle all the things. Okay? So let's say this is a question. This is how I do. You should always be reading by writing. With reference to Gucci, now when any fact or keyword comes, you circle it. Sometimes mentioned in the news, sometimes mentioned in the news. Okay? It is a fungus. So fungus is a keyword here. So fungus, it can be a bacteria, it can be a fungus, it can be a parasite, anything. So there is a countering possibility here. It grows in some Himalayan forest area. So some is something general here. So the statement can be correct. It is commercially cultivated in the Himalayan foothills of northeastern India. So northeast India is a fact here. Commercially cultivated is an extreme word here. This is the way you have to do. Okay. Make sure that you underline and circle the keyword and the key facts. So the key facts are, let's say, Himalayan region, fungi, and also northeast. And the keywords are commercially cultivated and some. This is how you do the question. Okay. So what do you need to do? And after you have made the decision, make sure you tick it on the left-hand side. Circle it on the left-hand side or cross it on if it's incorrect on the left-hand side. Because this is going to help you to take the decisions. 1 is correct, you cut 3. 1 is correct, you cut D. And on C and D, you can make your decision either in the first round or the second round. Okay. This is how you need to do it. And if you have reached half or 1/3, then you don't need to attempt it in the first round. You can leave it for the second round. If you completely know the answer only, you attempt it in the first round. Rather, if you're eliminating one option, then move it for the second round. Okay? So this is the reason why you should circle and underline. Because when you circle and underline, it will actually reduce your thought process. You will be pinpointing to that particular fact only. You should be thinking about whether it's a fungi or bacteria. It grows in some, so the statement is general. It will basically help you to streamline your thought. Okay. That is why you should always underline and circle when you read. So in the second round, attempt all the questions where you are able to eliminate at least one option. apply your logical and elimination techniques in the second round. Now, what is the time management? In the first round, you have already taken 30 minutes. In the second round, the next 30 minutes, 1 to 35. Next 30 minutes, 35 to 70. In the next 25, 70 to 100. Now you have 5 minutes remaining, right? What do? You go for the third round. Now this is where you apply all your logical and elimination techniques, identical statements, specific stats, and all the other different techniques out there, right? Now third round, elimination techniques, patterns, intuitions. For example, in this question, now how do you solve the same? Recognition of prior learning scheme. So here, something is getting recognized and there is something prior learning happening. Now, even if you don't have any factual knowledge here, try to do word deconstruction here. Right. So here you can see two options are identical here. Certifying the. Now, why does UPSC give two options which are identical? It's basically to confuse you the correct option with an incorrect option, right? That is why UPSC gives you two identical statements. So what are we looking for here? We are looking for some kind of recognition. Now, recognition can be certification, right? Recognition can also be certification. But recognition of prior learning scheme, that means that the person had some skill in the past. Now you are certifying the skill. So in option D, certifying the skills acquired under National Skills Development Program. Here there was no past skill that the employee had. Right. But what about option A here? Certifying the skills acquired by construction workers through traditional strands. So traditionally he had the skill. Now you are just certifying the skill. So therefore, the ideal option would be A. Right? Because prior is there, recognition is there. Prior would be traditional, recognition is certifying. So therefore, the answer is A here. Now this is the way you have to think. Right? All this happens in the second and in the third round. Even in this question as well, this is something that all of you know. Eliminate and root tull, let's say even if you don't have any factual knowledge regarding the same, think about all the elimination techniques that I have taught you. Eliminate and root tull, abundantly available. So you cannot use your 1% logic here. You cannot use it here. In certain coastal tracts of India, rich sources of which of the following? You have aluminium, copper, and titanium. Now here, is aluminium available in the coastal tracts? You cannot use your 1% logic here. It should be abundantly available in the coastal tracts. Think about it factually. Do you know the same? Have you heard of the same? No. Copper basically occurs in the K3 mines of Rajasthan, right? Have you ever heard that it's available in the Kerala coast, Coromandel coast, or the Malabar coast, be it any other? No. What about iron? It basically appears in the Chota Nagpur plateau, right? So what are we left with? We are only left with titanium, which is the answer here. Right. Now think in terms of logical as well. Do you think that UPSC would provide titanium as the option if it was not the correct answer? If titanium was not the correct answer, then they could have just provided such as gold, silver, manganese, cobalt, or any other option, right? Why did UPSC provide something as titanium, which is very specific? Now, always remember this. When we are left with no single technique out there, you have exhausted word deconstruction, you have exhausted identical facts, then what do? You go for the most specific option. And if you have watched my logical elimination, must have shown you n number of examples in UPSC wherein the most specific option has been the right answer, right? So this is the right and adequate approach for you to solve the question paper. First of all, regarding the attempt, always attempt close to 100 questions in your test series. In case of UPSC, if your logical elimination is really good, you can attempt all the 100 questions. But if it's on the poorer side, attempt all those questions wherein you are able to eliminate at least one option. In case of number of rounds, we are going for a 3-round approach here. First round, attempt only the simple questions, easy questions, factual questions. Second round pay, if you are able to reach 1/3, 1/3 or 1/2, attempt that. In the third round, we leave it for all the questions wherein you are not able to eliminate at a single option and you apply all the elimination techniques out there. With respect to time management, always do it in a half-an-hour approach, and I have detailedly discussed this here, right? So if you attempt question in this manner, let me tell you, you won't be having that pressure cooker mode in your exam hall. You will be mentally free, you will be emotionally stable, and you will be able to apply your elimination techniques, right? Because elimination techniques is what will help you to clear the exam, right? Now, moving on to the final question here. When should you mark in the OMR? Let's say after the first round, should you mark in the OMR? Or let's say you read the first question in the exam hall, you knew that, you know that, and then you mark in the right, then you mark in the OMR. No, in my opinion, we should always be marking all the questions in the second round. For the fact that, what happens if you mark in the first round? Let's say 13th question आपने mark किया, A. And when you read the 97th question, you remember that, ayo, it's not A, it was supposed to be B. Right? Certain options will give you insights into the other question, right? So this is the reason why you should not mark in the first round. कैसे करना है? You complete your first round and then you go to the first question in the second round. If you know that, you mark during that time. Then you move to the second question. You must have already gotten the answer. But फिर भी, you need to read all the questions, all the 100 questions out there. Then only you mark the same. That is why you, even if you know that second question pe B hai, you only mark it during the second round when you come towards B. Okay. Now there are people who actually spends the last 10 minutes for OMR marking. Now let me tell you, this is actually something very dangerous. One single mistake that you do, let's say for 12 question, the answer was A. And then you mark it A for 13th. Then it will be a domino effect. Okay, the game is over. So one single mistake, if you do it in that pressure moment, when you keep it for last 10 minutes, it has happened with some of my mentees, okay, before. So never do that. Always start marking in the second round only. Okay, everyone? This is the right approach on how to do the question paper and how to mark the OMR. Okay? So the right strategies is always equal to success. If you want to know about more other strategies out there, there are different other strategies on how to do the paper as well. You need the right approach and you need the right guidance as well. That is why you need me as the mentor. That is why you should be joining the Dominate Prelims. So the Dominate batch is open, the January batch and also the December 15th batch. So do join. Make sure that you are not misled by any other strategies out there, because the right strategies can determine your success. Okay, everyone? So do join Dominate. I'll be your mentor under Dominate as well. Thank you, everyone.